welcome back to our channel. If you are just joining us over here at Our Tribe of Many, my name is Sarah. I am a mother of 10 and I like to shop once a month. I'm crazy like that. I actually just don't like stores that much. I don't like shopping a ton. I love knowing that all the food is here and ready to go when I need it, and it also saves me a lot of money because it keeps me out of the stores, which keeps me from impulse buys. So I've done it for a long time, either twice a month or once a month, and once a month for the last number of years because I've had enough storage space, and it's great. It's revolutionary. But often I am asked to share how I prepare to shop once a month, and I have shared a couple times in the past. It's been a long time and I probably change it a little here and there, and so I thought today I've got a plan. A couple of my older kids took a bunch of my little ones out for a walk and I have a little quiet time, so I thought I'd bring you along today. So why don't you meal plan with me? In order to shop once a month, I plan every meal: breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, because we have to have all that food here. And like I said, we are planning for 12 people. So I have to plan well or we run out of food. I do go back halfway through the month, usually for fruit, fresh fruit. It's hard to make that last the whole time. Some fresh vegetables, although we do eat more frozen vegetables near the end of the month. And then also milk, just because I don't have enough room to store it. I have frozen milk in the past just by pouring a little bit out because milk does expand and it will explode, but I just don't have room for that right now. And we go through about 16 gallons of milk a month in our family. So the first thing I do is I write out my menu. This month I'm gonna do something a little different. I wrote it out this morning when the idea came to me. But I want to meal prep. We often meal prep. We prepare food once a week for the whole week and at least do some of the cooking for it or preparation for it, if not all. And this month, I would like to try it with breakfast food. So I wrote down 7 different breakfasts that we're gonna have, and I'd like to have that ready at the beginning of the month if possible, whatever ones I can. Just because breakfast has been a little chaotic around here. If you have kids and you're getting them off to school, or like in our case, we're homeschooling, sometimes you need less time spent on breakfast. You need something grab and go, and that has been the case here. So I have granola written down, breakfast burritos, cookies, sheet pancakes, quiche, overnight oats, and bagels. And I'm gonna spend one day prepping all that food, getting it all ready, freezing it, and it's gonna be so glorious. So since I have 7 breakfasts written down, I'm just going to make sure that I have enough to feed my family each of those things 4 times. And so I'm gonna write that on my list. For me, I keep my computer in front of me here. Right now, I've been mostly shopping on like pickup orders, Sam's Club and Walmart. And so I will just go in when something I know comes from Sam's Club, I'll just go ahead and order it right as I'm preparing my list. Walmart, the same thing. I just use walmart.com and pick up order. And then if I have something I need at Aldi's or Trader Joe's, which are the other 2 places I frequent, then I'm writing that in a list in my phone. I use an app called Wonderlist, but I think it's been bought out. I don't even know. But there's a lot of apps on your phone that you can use for grocery lists where other people can share it. I will say when I'm writing a grocery list, one thing I do that helps a lot is that I write my list in categories. When I'm going to walk through the store, I make categories like dairy, fresh, household, frozen, and pantry. And so I put my grocery items under those lists. Sometimes I'm organized enough to put it actually in the order that I walk through the store, but most of the time I don't really care. I have those 5 sections. That way, if somebody goes with me, one of my kids, my older kids know how to shop and shop well, or my husband, we can split up and each take a different list. So I use an app that would allow everybody to get it from different phones. So we'll grab any device we can, so we all have a list and split up through the store, and it goes much, much faster, which is important when you're shopping for 12 people for a month. So as I'm writing my Aldi list and Trader Joe's list, since I will potentially walk through those stores, I will definitely put them in categories. It saves so much time and it keeps me from walking out of the store forgetting something. The next thing I did is made sure I have all my snacks written out. I am just doing the same basic snacks every day. We have them around, so when kids need a snack in the morning or in the afternoon, we have snacks available. So that will be hard-boiled eggs, which we make very quickly in our pressure cooker. We just throw like 24 eggs in the pressure cooker on the little tray. We put 2 cups of water in the bottom and we set it for 3 minutes. on high pressure, and it makes perfect eggs for us that are easy to peel every time. So sometimes I'll even peel them right away and put them in the fridge because they will last a good 6 days in the fridge, but we always eat them faster than that anyway, and it's a great easy snack to grab and go. We'll have hard-boiled eggs available, nuts, raisins, string cheese, and fresh fruit. Lunchtime can also be a stressing point here. We just are trying to get a lot done in a day. Probably too much. But it does help if you're not spending time preparing a lunch at lunchtime, or if you're getting your kids out the door for school in the morning. Obviously that's very helpful. So far I have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. In the past I have frozen them, and it might sound weird, but it actually works really well. You can pull them out in the morning and they're ready for you. If you're just grabbing and going fast, going out the door, I don't know if it saves that much time when we're actually eating at home. So I probably won't prepare them ahead of time this time. And then I put down naan pizzas. So I'm going to buy some naan bread, and we're gonna make pizzas out of it, easy enough. Tuna noodles is something we use, whole wheat noodles, and add in tuna and mayonnaise and frozen peas. And so my kids like that. Seasoned salt, a lot of seasoned salt. Not all of them like it. I think I have one that doesn't, but he finds something else to eat that day. And then ham and cheese roll-ups. We do that a lot on tortillas. We call them roll-ups. Put ham and cheese, microwave it, put a little mayonnaise on it. After that, roll it up. Easy to go. And then we keep some fresh vegetables always around at lunch, like snap peas or carrots. And I try to have some homemade ranch made so they can dip. They like to dip. We're dippers around here. I'll come up with a couple more lunches here. Maybe I'll do the ham and cheese roll-ups twice. I'm looking to have enough for my kids all to eat it 8 times in the month. So I kind of figure out that. That tells me how much to buy. And it might seem very detailed, but it's really easy for me after I've done it a little bit to just know, for every lunch that we're eating a sandwich, we need a loaf and a half of bread. So if we're eating, or we're having toast in the morning or whatever. So I count up all the loaves of bread, and that goes on my list. It usually works out really well. We don't usually come to the end of the month with a ton of extra food, especially that fresh stuff like bread, milk, and fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. We make sure we use it up, and we also try to make sure we don't use it up too early. For dinners, I have a planner. Like, am I so old school that I have this? I don't think people use these anymore. They just use, I found this at Sam's Club last year for like 15 bucks. It's awesome. I think people use their phones more these days. I did it on the computer for years, but I just went back actually to just writing it out. I love it written out. And so I tend to plan meals, like this is overwhelming, right? Unless you want to eat spaghetti every Monday, tacos every Tuesday. And by the way, when I didn't know how to cook anything, that's how I started, for sure. Or like African on Thursday and Mexican on Friday, whatever. But I do tend to take the week, and on Sundays I'm going to write leftovers because I'm gonna hope we have leftovers, and if we don't, we do have a going out to eat budget, and we like to use it on Sundays of all the days because it's chaotic in our house on Sundays. Not really, but we're a pastor's family and it's a lot busier and we don't have time to think about food that much. Mondays, we tend to do Kenyan food, so I'm gonna write Kenyan on the top of that. My husband is home, that's his day off, he's Kenyan. He likes to cook, thank you very much, Solo. And so that's what we'll plan. And Tuesdays, we're gonna do fish. Wednesdays, chicken, I don't know, I change these around sometimes. Thursdays, let's do ground beef, and, oh no, let's do vegetarian. Oh no, let's change Tuesdays to ground beef. Ground beef, and then that's all. Ground beef. Thursdays we're gonna do vegetarian. We like to do that once a week. Friday's gonna be fish, and Saturdays is going to be like some other kind of beef, like stewed beef, roast, hamburgers, grill. Oh, I'll do / grill. So then I can go through, and it's a lot easier to plan what we're gonna eat. I have favorite recipes. I often go back through, this is another reason I like it written down, which I guess you can do this on the phone too, but I go back through my old months and I look at which ones we use, which meals we love, and then I switch them out because I get bored with meals real quick. I look through some cookbooks, maybe we'll try something, 1 or 2 things new, and I just fill it out real quick. It's so easy for me to see on Thursdays I need 5 vegetarian meals, so I probably only make about 5 vegetarian things. Real easy for me to go down the Thursday list and just fill them in. Now, do we keep to this calendar when we're eating? No. I don't think there's ever a month that we kept to everything. Probably not even a week. We eat what we feel like, but I know that I have all that planned. And I have realized, even this last month, I tried to not plan, just bought what we need. We did not run out of food. We had just about the right amount of food, but I realized I don't like to plan when I'm tired. And usually when it's time for dinner, I'm tired. Or when it's time to meal prep and I gotta figure out 5 to 7 meals. There's my timer. I'm tired. So here I am the next month back to meal planning, because it is just nice to know when you don't have an idea, you know what to make. And for us, when we've been meal prepping, it's nice to just pick out the next 5 meals. Oh, maybe I don't want to make all 5 of those. Maybe I want to switch it out with something in the following week or whatever. It just takes another step out of it. So planning ahead helps me to know. And I have all the food I plan for. When I'm making a grocery list, I do keep one extra list that is for the second half of the month. If there's some fresh ingredients, like I need a ton of fresh spinach and I'm not making that meal till like the 3rd or 4th week, I'm not going to buy that now, that fresh spinach, but I will forget when I go to the store halfway through the month just to pick up some fruit. So I will make that second list just of things that I know for sure I need. This whole process takes me, depending on how many times I'm interrupted, probably an hour to 2 hours. By the time I'm done with that hour or 2 hours, all of my groceries are ordered, which is the bulk of the groceries I'm getting. So the orders have been sent in and all my meals are planned for the month. Before I hit send on that order, I definitely go to my pantry. Let me take you there. In my pantry, I have labeled my shelves so I can easily see what I'm low of and what should be there. That is a super helpful thing to me because I don't have to guess. What might I be missing? Sometimes things aren't put back in the right spot. Like this says jam and it has paprika. But also these pork rinds don't belong here and there's very few of them left. But still, it helps me to see what I need more of and it makes list building much easier. I do the same in my fridge, although it's not labeled. I usually can recognize immediately what we need more of. And as well as in my outside freezers, I have a freezer full of beef from a cow, a whole beef or cow, whatever you want to say, that we bought. But in the other freezer, I check for chicken, fish, and I check up on our frozen veggies and frozen fruit. And frozen cheese too, because we keep that out there. 2 other things about writing a grocery list. When you're using online pickup, I think every store I've ever done it with, they have lists to remind you of what you normally buy and just like, hey, do you want this? And those lists are very helpful. I find them very helpful. It's almost like walking through the store and you see something and you think, oh, I normally get that. I forgot to write it on my list. So glad I saw it. It's the exact same thing, only online shopping. So I definitely check those lists because usually I have forgotten something and that's very helpful. Also throughout the month, whenever we use something up that I don't normally keep extra of in the pantry, or I might not have labeled, like a spice or something, whenever the spices are low and I recognize it, I immediately write it on my phone's list. So when I come to plan, I already have a number of items on there that I know I need to buy this month that I never would have remembered. I'm keeping a lot of things up there and I know a lot of you moms are doing the same thing. A lot of you women are doing the same thing. Moms are not. So we keep a lot of stuff up here and it's hard to remember sometimes. That's about it. Let me plan my list and I will show you. This is leftover Sunday. Monday, Kenyan food is basically all the same ingredients, so I just make sure we have plenty around for 4 meals. It's kind of like if you do Mexican food and you use a lot of the same different ingredients on one night of the week, you would know what it is without writing it all down and all that solo kind of pick. I just have what he usually likes around. For ground beef, Tuesdays or whatever, meatloaf, egg roll in a bowl, taco casserole, sloppy Joe recipe that's new for me, buttered chicken, whole chickens, drumsticks, and chicken chili for chicken. I feel like casseroles. I don't do a lot of casseroles, but I put several on here. Vegetarian is Mexican casserole, and dengu, which is a Kenyan dish, Indian chickpeas and carrots, quiche, and chipotle bowls. And then I know I did quiche for our breakfasts too, but my kids love quiche. Fish nights would be butter herb fish, salmon, tuna salad, Parmesan tilapia salmon patties, which is a new recipe for me. So I wrote down where to find that recipe, or where my starting point. I'll probably change it. And then I made the Saturday nights grilling nights because it's still nice here. Sorry, the noise has come back. Brats, steaks, chicken thighs, and burgers. There's one night I left blank, but I can usually get away with a few blank nights and it's okay. I just wasn't sure of what else I wanted to grill, or if we want to grill. So if we skip a night somewhere, we'll add it in there. Maybe we just picked up pizza or something. You know how it goes, or we had extra leftovers. It all works out. So I used these recipes to build my grocery list and to order my food. So I know I have the ingredients I need, but we will move things around as needed. Everyone has come back. It's time for me to leave you. But I was gonna tell you that I like to keep just a master list of all the chicken dishes we like, all the ground beef dishes we like, all of the fish dishes, etc., etc., because it really helps me when I'm planning my meals. I really need to update the lists I have. That's why I'm not showing you, but it's really helpful to do that if you kind of plan meals by your meat or your protein, or if you don't, however you plan meals. If you keep a master list somewhere, it really helps you when you go sit down to write out your meal plan, because you'll get some options in front of you. If we decide we're so tired of that meal, we don't ever want to see it again, or some of our kids don't like it, I take it off the list, and when I find new ones I really love and I know we would do again, then I add them to that list. But it takes a lot to get on that list. You have to really be wanted over and over. I hope this is helpful to you in some way. If you stick around, soon you'll be seeing a grocery haul from us if you're interested in seeing all the food we buy for the month for our family to make this menu happen. We'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.